easily. I keep begging you to stay, but you're leaving me. Leaving me. We got sticks in the club illegally. Got the whole 6 side, they believe in me. We got.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new edition of Boogie and the Bell. I am your co-host, The Bell, here with the best and the greatest, Boogie. Boogie, how we doing today?
Hey man, we live in life. We're feeling great, man. It's been a crazy week. Round one of the playoffs in the basketball is almost over. That's honestly the main point. That's what we're talking about today is basketball. All basketball, playoff basketball. So let's get into it.
That's exactly what we on. It is basketballs. It is the best time in basketball season where everybody actually plays their best basketball. And it's very prevalent. It's very prevalent. Like the excitement of basketball, the toughness of basketball, the what's it called? NBA on TNT is at its absolute best around this time of year. But before we get there, Boogie, we're gonna stray away a little bit. We're gonna keep the sports in it, but we're gonna stray away just a little bit, and we're gonna talk about a topic that has been hitting these streets, Boogie. Now, I thought this conversation was pretty ridiculous, but keyword is conversation. It's definitely started a good conversation, and that is, could 100 people defeat a gorilla? Now, I've heard a lot of different scenarios, whether it's can you kill a gorilla, can you knock the gorilla out, can you handle a gorilla, or would the gorilla just completely rip everybody to shreds? Boogie, before we even get into the question, how do you feel about the conversation and what are some of the things you've heard?
Honestly, man, I'm honestly down for this question because it really does. It's very thought provoking, and also it gets us off the conversation of it's a lot of 50-50. It's gender roles. These are the conversations taking up the social media space. You get tired of those. This is a fun one because there's no wrong answer. There's no right answer. It's just us having just fun conversations. I'm here for it.
For sure. Well, and that conversation heads right over to us. So the conversation here tonight, Boogie, or the question is, what is your starting 5 lineup to knock out a gorilla? Now, this is to put the gorilla to sleep. We are not going to harm a gorilla to the point where he's not, maybe some kicked in ribs or something like that. But the gorilla does have full throttle against these 5 humans. So if you need 5 humans to put this gorilla to sleep, completely restrain him, or just make sure that he does not want no more and he lays there in pain, Dragon Ball Z style, who is your top 5 athletes to take down a gorilla? You get 5 athletes. That's it.
Do they have to be active athletes?
No, prime. It could be prime time Deion Sanders if you want it to be.
All right, say less.
Prime time Schwarzenegger.
I'm starting off strong. And when I say strong, I literally mean physically strong. I'm going with a prime Ronnie Coleman. Okay. Debatably one of the best bodybuilders of all time. Homie was walking around 300 pounds, 4% body fat. He's going to give you some guaranteed strength to help you, hold the gorilla down. Next, I got Aaron Donald. 280 pounds of pure muscle. He gonna pack a punch. He gonna throw some jabs and wear the gorilla down. Next, these two will go pound for pound, not pound for pound, close to pound for pound with the gorilla. We got Shaq and the Big Show. 2 big, large, athletic humans. They gonna be able to hold the gorilla down, pound for pound. And the next one, this is my fun one, my X Factor, Draymond Green. Because he's just a certified crash out. So he's gonna be the one to do some crazy-ish. I don't know. He might just take his shoe off and hit the gorilla with it. I don't know, but he's gonna do something to give them that step above the gorilla. So I'm throwing Draymond in there.
I like that. And all right, that's a pretty solid little lineup you got there. And who's your leader? I'm assuming Draymond. Who's leading the pack?
No. Draymond isn't going to be the leader, but Draymond is going to give the pregame speech. Draymond's getting them in that energy. As far as leader, I'm gonna trust Aaron Donald. I feel like he has the most level head. He's like the rational aggression. I'll trust Aaron.
Okay. All right. So for mine, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my leader. This is who's gonna lead him towards, because I'm gonna have him established as the brotherhood sole soldier. He's the one who's leading everybody in, but they're his brothers. That's the speech he's going in with, to let them know that we're about to knock this gorilla the fuck out. So we're gonna start with Nikola Jokic's big brother. That boy is a unit. He is a tank. Now, he was an athlete. He was a Euro basketball player. I think he did something else. I forgot what else he did. His other brother is the MMA fighter, but I know that he played the Euro leagues for a long time. But he's just a unit. Nikola Jokic is 6'11", 7 foot, 299 pounds, almost 300 pounds. His brother is twice his size. So whether he's 450 pounds and 7 foot or 7'3", he's just a lot bigger than his little brother. So I'm gonna take a unit, and he's strong on brotherhood. So you need somebody who's in there like, you know what, I'm doing this. The guy's got to knock him down. Next, I got somebody who's gonna do a lot of the holding down. That's gonna be Aaron Donald, like you said, 6 foot, 285. Muscle, pure muscle, agility. I think it's Gorilla's gonna have a hard time getting to him, or at least swinging an arm at him. Number 3, I'm gonna go small. I'm gonna go real small. I'm gonna go Habib Nurmagomedov. I'm gonna go Habib because he has a lot of experience wrestling. He was a former lightweight UFC championship. I think that he has a great foundational understanding on how to like maintain limbs. So I think leg control, arm control. I think not only will he be able to do it from a holding him standpoint, but from a like locking him up. My number 4 is going to be Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt's going to deliver the knockout punch. Mark Hunt is a former UFC heavyweight fighter. Amazing knockout power. Like some of the greatest knockout power we've ever seen. Like we haven't seen as amazing knockout power in a long time. And these are one-hitter quitters. So you got Aaron Donald and Nikola Jokic holding both arms, Habib holding these legs. Pow! Knockout punch. But before we get to that knockout punch, just in case we need him, we got Chad Ochocinco.
What?
Just because he's him. So Chad Ochocinco has absurd amount of belief in himself. Absurd. He took on Ray Lewis for no reason and was ineffective, but he still had the balls to go out there and do it. And when you're going against a gorilla, anybody who's willing to go head up with Ray Lewis and try to blindside that man, he's going to be the great distraction. So if we end up losing one, it's going to be Chad Ochocinco. But if there's anybody who believes that we're going to be able to do it, it's Chad Ochocinco. And that's why he's my fit. So he's going to be the distraction. So if he goes down in the mix, hey, man, God bless that brother. But if there's anybody I know who's going to have full faith and belief in us getting it done, it's Chad Ochocinco. And that's my top 5, baby.
I mean, that's a pretty solid list, but I'm surprised. If you were gonna pick any NFL wide receiver, I thought you would at least pick like a DK Metcalf, somebody with like some size to him. Or, well, not that Chad is small, but Chad ain't strong, not super strong. DK is strong as shit. So I thought you would at least go that route. But I understand where you're coming from.
I feel like Chad Soto has a lot of strength throughout the years, though. Like in his elder years, there's times where he beefed up a little bit. Of course, not like a Shannon, but you know, he's still a skinny, lengthy guy. But I think he's going to go in with the right faith. So faith is what you're going to need on your side if you get locked in a cage with a gorilla with 5 dogs. That's just how I see it. But anyways, that was just a little bit of fun for the show. We're going to get to business now, El Boogie. El Boogie, we are 48. We're about 40 minutes away from finishing up round 1 of the NBA playoffs. We had the round 2 start. We had our semifinals start today. El Boogie, we got a lot to get through, man. Everything was looking great. Everything went pretty much as planned, and we had a couple upsets and a couple great things. But let's just get started straight up. We did kind of because we didn't close out nothing last week. Now we're all closed out. We got one more game. We got the Rockets and Warriors, but we're gonna get there. We got 17-17 on that game, but we're gonna get there. El Boogie, the Thunder and the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies got 4-0. They did come through clutch in the last game. I don't think Ja Morant played. I don't know what he suffered. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the Thunder advancing? And then give a little brief summary on the Grizzlies season and what they should be looking forward to next year.
I mean, the Thunder, we all knew it. Everyone picked the Thunder to win. It was either going to be a 4, maybe a 5 game series. Losing Ja that kind of shoots you in the foot right there. So they put up a valiant effort. Like I don't think. Oh, actually, no. I think the last game was a blowout. Actually,
It wasn't that
or
117 to 115.
or maybe it was game three. One of the
Yeah,
games
game
was
three
like
was bad.
yeah,
No,
it
you're
was a
right.
bad one. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was just a tough series. Obviously, OKC they got a lot of young, really good talent, so they were gonna come and they were gonna play hard, and they got 4 wins pretty easily. The only sweep in the first round. So yeah, they're gonna advance and play the Nuggets next round. And for the Grizzlies need identity after firing their head coach 2 weeks. I mean, like right before the start of the playoffs. Um, I think they need identity. I think they need someone who's going to come and pull them together. I think they have good pieces because even in some of the games against OKC, they looked pretty competitive. Even like in the play-in back end of the season, they looked competitive enough. So they have pieces to be a good team. They just need someone to bring it all together. So I think that head coaching selection is going to be very critical for them.
And honestly, I'm in utter shock because listen to what El Boogie just said. I remember on this show we were talking about how a month before the playoffs they fired their coach, right? And then it was like this special reason that nobody knew or could figure out, right? We were right there, right, El Boogie?
Yeah.
Then the Nuggets fired their coach 2 weeks before, and we got two different results based off of round one. I know Ja Morant's a humongous thing to miss, but I just want to keep that in mind because that's what we're about to go to next. But anyways, with that being said, the Grizzlies just need to work on identity. Completely agree with El Boogie. No debate there. The Thunder, I feel like, need to focus on not thinking this is going to be easy because you're about to face a team who just went to war, and I think they're more war ready than OKC is. OKC's still that young team, so they might feel high about themselves beating down 8. You're not about to play 8 again. You're not about to play 4. You're about to play somebody who has something you guys are trying to get to. But anyway, I think the Thunder just need to focus on understanding that their war is about to begin, and they're going to war with somebody who's in the middle of war, right? Like they are like battle tested as soon as game one starts. The Thunder, they're more, they crucified a couple guys to get to where they are right now. So I just want them to like really, really focus on that, which takes us to the next series, the Nuggets versus the Clippers. This was one of the greatest series I've ever seen, paid attention to. I mean, people made it out to the games. We're from Denver, so you see game after game, people making it out in Denver. I'm like spending $300, $400, $600 tickets for solid seats, $200 for bad seats. The Nuggets had a lot of motion this year, so I'm like, and honestly, the Clippers did as well. So, how you feel about the Nuggets moving on next round, and what do you think the Clippers need to focus on with this season and moving forward? Because they're in a rough one.
I mean, I'll put it like that. That series itself was a nail biter, and it could have went either way. Honestly, like the Clippers put up some really good games. Kawhi looked like prime Kawhi for at least 4 or 5 of the games. He looked really, really good. James Harden, outside of the game 7, he played pretty solid basketball. Um, Zubac played pretty good. Like the Clippers were a good team. Like that was the most head-to-head, evenly matched game because it was like, all right, both teams are throwing their best punches, and it's just who comes out on top. So yeah, I think it was a gritty series. Unfortunately, with the Clippers, I mean, their best players are aging, getting ever closer to retirement. And after this round one loss, you have the thought of, do we need to retool? Do we need to reset? And honestly, I think that's what they need to do. They have the coach in place to attack a rebuild the right way. I think maybe you try to get off of James Harden. I don't really think he's going to be a difference maker for your team at this point in his career. A good player, still good, but I don't think he's going to, be the one to help the Clippers reach that peak.
Okay.
Kawhi showed that he can still ball and still be a menace on the court. He just needs to stay healthy. That's it. You just got to keep your fingers
He was
crossed on
healthy.
that one.
He finished the season this year.
He finished the season, but he only played 20 some games this season.
Yeah.
He was injured for a big chunk of it. So yeah, I think they need to embrace a pseudo rebuild. I could see them, trying to get off some guys and maybe being a play-in team next year, and then coming back in 2 or 3 years and being competitive. But yeah, I don't think they have the winning ingredients right now. And Nuggets, you know what the difference I think was in that series?
But
Honestly, I think it was Russell Westbrook.
I agree.
I think it was Russell Westbrook and them leaving him open and him being aggressive, taking shots, hitting shots, coming off the bench, giving them ample juice. Without Russell, I don't think they win that series. Even with Jamal 40-point games, Jokic triple double almost every game, you need Russell Westbrook to add that extra juice because you're not consistently getting it from a Michael Porter or a Christian Braun. Even Aaron Gordon had some up and down games. So shout out
Now
Russell. Yeah.
we're pretty strong Nuggets fans, but I don't want to get too hung up on the Nuggets fans. But okay, here's the debate. I got a quick one for you. What's his name? Christian Braun and what's his name? What was the small forward from last year we had? He had
Michael
small
Porter.
braids. Nope, we still have Michael
Aaron,
Porter.
oh,
Braids.
the big. KCP.
Okay, KCP, Christian Braun,
Yeah.
right there, right? Even though they played together, they served a similar purpose on this Nuggets dynasty or like this part of the Nuggets franchise, like this Nuggets era is what I'm trying to say, right? So they're that's the match to me. Now, 2 years ago we won a championship with what player who was a bench player who played a perfect side to this Nuggets roster? Who was that?
Bruce Brown.
Okay, Bruce Brown versus Russell Westbrook. Now, the only way we could give Russell Westbrook enough credit as Bruce Brown is if they do win a championship this year. But I think a great question right now is was getting Russell Westbrook and putting him in a Bruce Brown place gonna be one of the greatest moves that I believe Mike Malone made or the GM that they fired because they're both gone? Was that one of the best deals to make where you put somebody like Russell Westbrook, who is a true 15, 5, and 5 player on the bench? As a starter, he still is a 28 and 8. But on the bench, 15, 5, and 5. Like, was that one of the greatest moves that they made to replicate that team from back then?
See, I think it was a really good move, but I think it's one of those moves that looks. I don't think the intention when they made that move was to have a Bruce Brown replica. They needed an experienced vet who was okay coming off the bench and could be a difference maker when Jokic has to step off the court or Murray has to step off the court. And that's exactly what they got. I think it just, in a way exceeded expectations at this point in the season where now he's not just, adding some extra juice. He is a solid sixth man coming off the bench. I think that is again exceeded expectations. Great deal, especially if they're not paying him a ton of money. Excellent acquisition, but I don't know if that was the intended, outcome of that acquisition.
I think that's the intended outcome. I think that's exactly what they wanted. Everything that you said plus more. Like, I think that's exactly what Russ gave. And I think he did a damn good job at doing that. So I'm like, I don't know. Shout out Russ. That's all I'm saying. Shout out Russ. But, okay, and then closing out the Clippers season, I mean, they're stuck with Kawhi. Are they stuck with James?
He probably has 2 more years on his deal.
Really?
I think so.
Jeez.
Let's see.
Yeah, I actually do want to know that.
So he signed so he has a player option for next year. Oh wow. Okay. So actually he may not even be back. He may decide to leave.
Does James Harden want to be on this roster?
No. I think James Harden is in ring chaser mode, like to the max. Because
You think he's in ring chaser mode?
I mean, everything has been ring chaser. It's you go from one potential super team to another. You pair up with X superstar, then X superstar. I mean, he's been with Kyrie KD. He's been with a Paul George. Now he's here with Kawhi. He's, you know what I mean? Especially when it's in his power. He was in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid. Like, we can't act like he's not consistently putting himself on these contending teams with the point, like, I want to win a championship, which I'm sure he does. But I think that's what he's going to continue to try to do. He may not take that player option because, again, do we think the Clippers are going to be a championship team with the same roster? No.
Well, how about this? Does James Harden take the same role that Russell Wilson has? to chase a championship. Because I think it's time. I think we've had 3 MVPs from that OKC team. And the only one who I'm seeing who has strong success is the person who's took the smallest role.
Yeah, but I don't. But I wouldn't say. I don't see it in the sense that I think James Harden would try to go for more of a sure thing because again, the Nuggets coming into the season, were we like favored to win the West? I don't think we were. We a contending team, of course, but not favored to win the West. I also don't see James Harden taking such a team friendly deal on a winning team.
I completely agree.
I don't see it being the exact same, but he is in ring chaser mode. Like he wants to go win a ring.
I think that's going to be the biggest deal is that he's not going to want to play like Derek White. Like that's not a James Harden role where it's like we just need you from in there. Like he is facilitating the court. He is shooting the shot that he wants to shoot. I think he's in like a interesting. I think James Harden's in a very similar position to Melo, where it just didn't work out. Like you could go to certain teams, but you shoot the way you shoot, you facilitate the way you facilitate. You have to get your shot. It's not the best shot for the team; it's the best shot for you. I see James Harden playing out like that, unless he wants to accept a role like Russ, and like you said, he's way too valuable. And Russ probably had to take a huge ego hit to get a position like that, just like Melo did. Melo had to get that same type of role. He just couldn't really get that role on a winning championship, whether it was Portland, even OKC, Portland, OKC. What was the other one? The Lakers. You know, none of those rosters really just worked out. Houston kicked him out of there with James Harden in them. I think James Harden's in that exact same position. You know why? Because he just got kicked out of the first round of the playoffs. It's bad. It's pretty bad. And they had a great roster. I dare somebody to tell me that roster's not. They were good. They were the 5th seed in the West. They were a game away from the 4th or the 3rd. So, hey. But, yeah, I'm going to close out the Clippers season with saying, James, do what you need to do. Kawhi's definitely coming back, and I don't even really think they're in a position to rebuild. Just get more pieces to lose first or second round next year.
They don't even have the ammunition. They don't have, like, any of their draft picks. They gave away so many to get Paul George. Like, they don't have...
Where's he at?
Right.
All right, moving on to let's call this one the saddest one. This is the saddest one for me. It's really not that sad. It actually is the transition of the torch. We had the Lakers going out 4-1 to the Timberwolves. Shout out to the Timberwolves for knocking them out of there. L Boogie, how you feel about this series? Lakers and then T-Wolves moving on.
I'm right there with you. I think this was a sad one just because... You know, I think it was game 4 when I started to think about it, and I'm like, wow, could this be like, if they don't win this game, could this be the end of LeBron? And then I remember being in a bar, watching the Lakers play in game 5, and I'm like, am I watching LeBron James's last game? And I think he will be back for another season, but the thought entered my mind, like, how many seasons of LeBron do we have left, truthfully? Because I remember last year we were saying, oh, he has 2 more. Okay, well, that means we have 1 more?
1 more left.
Maybe 2 more? We're not seeing a lot of LeBron left, so that's why it's sad to see him go out and lose in 5 games, especially after his team made a move to go get Luka. That was a very win-now move. And also, he played good basketball. Like, LeBron was playing great in that series. The team around him just wasn't great. Luka didn't show up in certain spots. He still had his stats, but he just wasn't showing up in the ways they needed him to show up. So it was sad. It was sad to see that. I think it's cool in a way to see it happen against the Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards, who is like, you know, I think potential next like big name in the league for years to come. But it's sad to see the Lakers, and really just sad to see LeBron James go out that way.
Well, see, I've never been the hardest worker. I do wonder how LeBron feels pulling up to the gym 3-4 hours early at 40 years old, working harder than people who are trying to make a name for themselves in their league and trying to establish the whole generational wealth and never work again money. And some people probably are slacking off and going from $1 million back to the Euro League. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I just don't know how many more years he has of doing that, where we're seeing the film of him working out 5 hours before the game and he's the only one out there, right? Like at one point, people were mad he was working out with his shirt off. and then you figure out it was 6 hours before the game when it's just LeBron in the court, and there just so happened to be somebody who was working hard to record him at that time. I feel bad because I do think he outworks this league, and I don't know if he's getting the rewards for outworking this league. I'm not saying he outworks people like Anthony Edwards or anybody who's like at their absolute best right now, but his team wasn't a reflection of how well he played. Luka's gonna be Luka. I think Luka played just fine. Had some off games, but I think he just played just fine. But the talent surrounding LeBron James at 40 years old, it just didn't match. Like it honestly didn't match. JJ Redick was a first year coach. It was a lot. It was a lot. But honestly, I don't want nothing that we're talking about with LeBron to take away from the fact that Anthony Edwards is establishing one of the greatest playoff resumes. Because not only did he get knocked out of the playoffs last year to Luka Doncic on I would say it's about a similar level team, right? I wasn't completely sold on a Kyrie Luka Doncic team, but I'm always sold on a Luka Doncic team, right? I would say that this team is a little less impressive, but not only did that, he knocked out LeBron and Luka in the same round. Like, Jesus. He's knocked out Jokic. He's knocked out Kyrie. I mean, who else is he knocked out? His list is crazy. Oh, no. You know who's knocked out? The Suns.
Oh, KD. He knocked out,
Yes,
KD.
the Suns. You know, and don't just say KD. Devin Booker's in there, too. He's a premium player as well. Yeah, he's establishing one of the greatest ones, so shout out to the Timberwolves. As far as the Lakers closing out their season, we'll see what LeBron does. That team is dependent on LeBron right now. If it is dependent on Luka, let's say LeBron retires, even though we know he's not. Let's say he goes to another team, even though we know he's not. Luka's going to need 1 to 2 years before he could develop this team into a championship team like he did with Dallas. So I'm not expecting no high hopes from them. So their faith is in LeBron James. The Timberwolves, boy, oh boy, I feel bad for who's next.
The winner, whoever wins tonight.
Absolutely, which takes us right to it. So we got the Rockets right now. We got the Warriors up 33-24 over the Rockets. At one point, Boogie, this was a 3-1 series, and the Rockets have won the last 2 games, and now we're in a Game 7 series at Houston, and it's 24-33. But you know, closing out this season for either team, whatever team wins or whoever you think is going to win, how you think they match up against the Wolves?
Well, personally, I have the Warriors winning this game and advancing to play the Timberwolves, but I don't see either of them beating the Timberwolves just because the Timberwolves are a very scrappy team. They're very good defensively. Everybody on that team plays pretty good defense. I think Rudy Gobert has really got into his role. Julius Randle, who has consistently not showed up in the playoffs, actually had a pretty decent series against the Lakers. I expect more from him. Obviously, Ant is Ant. And their bench is just really talented too. So I don't see either team stacking up against the Timberwolves next round. So, but as far as the Warriors are concerned, we've seen the Warriors play in a lot of big moments. And one thing that is always consistent, Steph Curry shows up in those big moments. Steph Curry is going to have a game. I don't know the stats right now. I'll have to watch the second half. Steph Curry is going to show up and do his thing. Now, unless the Rockets can withstand the best blows from Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, unless they can survive that for 4 quarters, they don't have a shot of winning.
Yeah, this one's real simple for me. I do think the Warriors can beat the Wolves. I don't think they're going to. It doesn't matter who wins out of these two. I don't got either of them passing the Wolves. I think the Warriors are going to give the Wolves way more run for their money. I think the Rockets are going to get slaughtered by the Wolves. As far as tonight's game, both teams need to invest into their youth. And by Rockets, they just need more time together because you guys are the 2 seed. I'm expecting them next year or the year after to be the 1 seed. Then I'm expecting them to lose this year, next year. I mean, next year or the year after, deeper in the playoffs. And then potentially a championship team. I think they're in the same position that the Nuggets were in And a lot of these teams are chasing that position, with whether it be the Thunder or the Rockets or even like a Timberwolves, which the Timberwolves fell back a little bit this year. They're just competing to build this real team. I think the days of super teams has been killed. A lot of teams have been established, and it has not worked. From like the James Hardens, KDs, and LeBrons, and all them, like they've tried this super team thing. It's not 2008. I'm sorry, you guys aren't the Celtics. It's just not what it is right now. So with that being said, these teams that are being established, like a Celtics, like a Nuggets, Cavaliers, they're really trying to bridge over. I think the Rockets are about 2 years out from that. They're not making it anywhere, but they have a lot to learn from it. So the Warriors have to reinvest into some more youth if they can't make it past this first round. And then I hate to say it, but they got to reinvest into some more dogs besides Draymond, because I don't know how many years Draymond has left, but he can't be the most scrappy person in the next series. If he's the most scrappy, don't get me wrong, Jimmy Butler's scrapping. Jimmy Butler's scrapping next series. If Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green are the only scrappy players on the team, especially since they're getting so much older, I don't like that for this year or next year, especially against the Timberwolves. So I got both teams getting kicked out next round. But the score is, let's get an update on the score before I move on. We're still 33-24. I don't know if they got a standstill. All right. Anyways, this is gonna give me a quick and easy one. The Cavaliers versus Heat. El Boogie. I don't even have to ask you the questions I have. Go ahead.
I was so wrong earlier. This was also a sweep and a pretty bad one. That game 4, they lost by like 40, 50 points. Yeah, the Heat didn't have any juice. They had zero juice after losing Jimmy Butler. I think they get held up by the fact that Eric Spoelstra is a good coach, but yeah, I think they're going to completely enter rebuild mode. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they made a kind of crazy move in the offseason, like getting off of a Bam or getting off of a Tyler Hero to add more draft capital to retool and rebuild down the road. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. But yeah, they just could not compete against the Cavs, who had been playing great basketball all season. Not won the East, but were first in the East. So yeah, pretty straightforward, man.
I just think we all need to understand that the Heat don't need to be a playoff team every year. I think it's okay. Like, I'm ready for a rebuild. I'm ready for them to invest into Eric Spoelstra for the, let's call it, the later end of his career. He's still kind of young, right?
He's still
Eric Spoelstra's not going nowhere anytime soon, and I'm okay with him being like their 30-year coach. It's not that big of a deal. I think a rebuild is okay. I think a true rebuild is absolutely okay. I like Bam on that team. I mean, he's aging well. He's not losing athleticism. He doesn't look different. It's not like Shaq when he like turned into Big Shaq. He's still young. Like, he's not. I'm talking about him like he's 38. He's not. So I like Adebayo. I do like Tyler Hero and starting to move some of these players around the league so they could get a championship while they're rebuilding. So if Bam Adebayo's down to stay, I think starting to rebuild around that. Look for your next Jimmy B. Just like they should be looking for Anthony Edwards, somebody a little more polarizing, young, hungry, killer instincts. You know who I would like on the Heat?
Who?
LaMelo Ball. That'd be
that might be fun. That'd be fun.
He doesn't get a chance to play winning basketball, and I think with a coach like Eric Spoelstra and a Pat Riley, I think they'll teach him like more winning culture, and they'll turn all that like talent into like winning. I think that would work out really good. They need a player just like that.
But the Heat have a culture. Like, the Heat are known for, like, Heat culture is a thing. I don't see LaMelo Ball fitting into Heat culture
because he doesn't play winning basketball. He plays good basketball. He doesn't play winning basketball.
But do you think
throughout his life he hasn't played winning basketball?
But do you think he's going to go to Miami and be happy? I don't know. I think even after a certain amount of time, even Jimmy Butler started to, grind, and after all the success they had, they wanted to go separate ways. So I see it would happen with LaMelo, where he might go and ball for a year, maybe 2, but he's going to get disgruntled and want to get out of there.
I think that they could. They need a polarizing player, and they need to teach. And I think a good deal would be teaching you winning culture, and we'll teach you something about talent. And I think that mixed really well with Jimmy Butler. It didn't turn into a championship, but it damn sure turned into some appearances. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like a LaMelo Ball. Ideally, you want somebody like Anthony Edwards, young, hungry, and like I don't care. You know what we're here to do. We're here to win. But yeah, we have not talked about the Cavaliers, and they're the number one seed in the East. Shout out the Cavs, man. I'm not no Cavaliers hater. We're actually about to loop back to the Cavs. So we'll get to them when we get there. But anyways, moving on. The Pacers and Bucks. Boogie. Is the window closing on my guy Damian Lillard? I want
Oh,
you to answer that first.
Dame is down, man. After tearing an Achilles this late in your career, we've seen certain players come back from an Achilles tear. KD, he came back, but you know what he had to do? He had to miss a whole season. He missed a whole season and then came back, and now he's returned to form. He looks good.
Mm.
Damian Lillard his game isn't the same. You don't think KD looks good? I think KD, he's not
KD
the
looks
same.
amazing, but it's where's the winning basketball? There's a difference between winning
Bro,
basketball and looking good. KD's always going to be able to shoot a jump shot. He'll never forget how to shoot he'll never do this, but KD in a wheelchair will have a touch to get the ball in the basketball. You know what I mean? When he's in his 90s and 100s, he still will be able to flick his wrist and put the ball in the basket. But is
but
he
what
playing winning KD basketball? No.
well, I mean, winning. It's also. I don't think one player can't make a team a winning team necessarily.
Shit, tell Jimmy Butler that.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair. But where was I going? But the
My
thing is,
bad.
KD's game is predominantly he's a jump shooter. He's a jump shooter. He's got a nice touch. That's his main money source. Dak with an Achilles recovery, that's fine. Dame relies, especially as a smaller guard, he can obviously shoot, but he also relies on on being explosive, on having a good drive, on being able to drive and distribute. You lose a little bit of a touch when you have on those parts of your game when you have to have an Achilles get rebuilt, and he's like 35, 36. Like, we
Yeah.
won't see Damian Lillard on a basketball court until he's 37, 38.
Damn.
So it's looking kind of bad. It's looking like
Now,
he might have.
okay, go ahead.
He,
It's
he
looking like
It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Dame. I hope, obviously, that he can recover and come back and play winning basketball again. But whatever window he has that's open, it got minimized a ton.
I have no idea how many years left he has on his deal, but how do you feel about Giannis moving forward with the Bucks?
I think they need to go their separate ways.
You think it's
Honestly,
time?
I think it's time. I think it's time for both sides, just because I think Giannis is still in his prime and can still be a major point, like a component of a championship team, and the Bucks can get a lot for him right now. You trade him
Absolutely.
to a team with a lot of resources, you will get a lot in return. Versus if you wait 2, 3 years, what if he gets hurt? Now your return is minimized. So I say it makes sense to move off him now. Like, it's
See,
been a great run.
I think it'd be great to like move off of him, and if that's what you guys liked, and if that's what worked for you, then look for your like Wimbiana. Like you move on from Giannis to say, you know what, but it worked, and then you get something like for the future that it looks like Giannis. So give the guy who gave you everything away and let him go off and have a great career. He's always going to be a Buck. He's going to retire a Buck. You know what I mean? Like we're going to remember Giannis on the Bucks. He could go win 3 more championships. We're going to remember who he was on the Bucks for sure. I think it's time to let him go. Yeah, like it is the Von Miller transition where it's like, let him go get a chip, let him go figure it out. Basketball is completely different sports in that regards because a lot more rides on the game that has way less positions and way more on the line. But I think just let him go. So I don't know. But anyways, we're avoiding the team that actually won. How do you feel about the Pacers and moving on in their series?
I think the Pacers are a very capable team. What I like about them is they're not super reliant on one person. Like, they have Halliburton, they have Siakam, they have Miles Turner. They have players who are good and can all contribute, but they're not super reliant on one player like a Nuggets and a Nikola Jokic. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we just need everybody to come in, play good basketball. We need our starting five, starting six to play well together, but we don't need Tyrese to go get 40. We don't need Miles to get 20 points and 15 boards. We don't need that. We just need everybody to kind of do their role. And that's what I like about them.
Okay. I like the Pacers just because they're not young, but you look at them like they're young. I like Miles Turner. I like Halliburton. I like bro. They have what's it called? Let me just see this roster real quick. Somebody threw me off on them. Um, I said it was cheating. Having Miles Turner and having Siakam and Miles Turner on the same team is cheating, is it not?
How so?
You don't think that's like a combination that's very, very unfair for most backcourts?
Mm,
That's
no,
a
there. If anything,
strong backcourt.
if
Look,
it is,
today.
it is, but
Okay,
it's
okay.
no, it's a strong backcourt, but it's like, hey, the league let it happen.
Yeah. No,
the
I'm just
like
saying,
they
like, it feels unfair that Miles Turner had 13, 11 today, and Siakam has 17 and 8, and neither of them are the star of this team. They are not the go-to points for this team. But they play athletic, great, and they play basketball correctly. Like, you don't see them cheat the game of basketball. Like, they literally get to their position, know their position, and play their position well. If I'm rebounding, I am rebounding. If I am guarding, I am guarding. And I've always got like that energy from Miles Turner. And then Siakam, I mean, come on now. You get somebody that's like getting Jimmy Butler, where it's like you get somebody who got it out the mud. Like they don't miss out on their opportunities. So I'm like that. I felt like that was unfair when I figured out that they play on the same team.
honestly, to me, they all seem like a bunch, like it's a full roster, or it's a roster full of B plus players. Like
Okay.
it's a roster full of B plus players where everyone is kind of on a similar level, and they're all good. Not like best player in the league good, but good. I don't know. That's fun. Honestly, that's
We're
good
gonna
for
come
them.
back right before this show ends. We're gonna come back to that. All right. All right. Moving on. This was my second favorite series out of the playoffs so far. We have the Knicks versus the Pistons. Hey man, we might get the bad boy Pistons coming back in the next coming years. I definitely love to see. I'm actually trying to invest into Detroit, so definitely tapped in with Detroit. Love what Detroit has going on. I love to see the Detroit Pistons doing more, having more celebrities pop out to games, having the crowd packed in Detroit. Right? They said like 2 years ago it was rare for them to sell out a game. Now they're in the playoffs doing good work. How you feel about the Knicks Pistons moving forward, and what are the Pistons working on next year?
I feel bad. I feel bad for the Pistons because I feel like they got raw. I'm not gonna
Twice.
act like I'm not gonna. This game should have gone seven. This should have gone to 7 games. I think the Knicks might have still edged it out, but I do think it should have gone 7 games, especially with the refs in one of the games when they didn't call a foul on the court, but afterward, like it should have been a foul. That was just pure robbery. But the Pistons should feel really good. They should feel really good about the season. They've shown growth. They have a good star to build around in Cade Cunningham. Honestly, they just need to retool. I mean, not retool. They need to continue growing, continue developing. Maybe add one piece to kind of help take them over the top. But yeah, I see them being a contender for years to come. They look really good.
I personally believe the Knicks have definitely took a step back because I don't think that the Pistons shouldn't have been able to compete with them this well. I'm not saying I thought that this was going to be a blowout. I was expecting the number 3 Knicks to be like the number 3 seed versus a could have been 7, could have been 8 seed team. But shout out to the Pistons, man. Like I just said, I gave them credit before. I'm not gonna try to take too much away from them. I think that they came to play, boy. I think that just came to play, and they really put it on the Knicks. I actually think that they put so much pressure on the Knicks that the Knicks aren't going to be ready for a Celtics team who's the opposite of the Thunder team, right? Like they know what they got to do to get to that chip, and I think that's who took them out last year, right? Or was it Knicks versus
It was Knicks Celtics.
Yeah, they lost to the Celtics, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Possibly, but anyways, I think that this is going to be a replay of it. I think the Knicks are going to get a lot. They got a lot taken out of them by the Pistons, and I don't know. I don't got them doing nothing against the Celtics, but the Pistons, like I just said, I don't see them being like a top 4 seeds next year, but I would love to see them strive for the 5th seed next year. I hopefully they get somebody like a young gun and hopefully they get 2 young guns. I want them to get like a veteran. I would love not like a CP3. I want them to get like a solid veteran in the offseason. Like a veteran that's a little shocking to us. Where we're like, okay, I could see him doing good work for them. and I really want them to pick up some like young gun in the draft. Right, they're gonna be a little further in the draft, so if they could get somebody under 16, I think that'd be pretty fire. Which they're probably still like the 20. They're probably gonna be like the 20 FC. Mm. I want them to pick up somebody really like a young gun, and I really want them to pick up a veteran. I think that's what that team's missing. Other than that, they're a developing team. They're scrapped though. I like a scrappy team. All right. But yeah, the Celtics and Magic. This was a snooze fest. You got anything here?
I guess I expected more of a fight from the Magic. I don't know why I thought this was going to go 6 games, but I'm not surprised. Celtics best overall roster in basketball right now, if you ask me, and they handled business. So yeah, it was a pretty boring series, uneventful.
Didn't you have the Magic taking the finals this year or something ridiculous?
Hell
if you
no.
if you want to bring that back up,
I had them being a playoff team. I ain't never had them taking the finals.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I don't know. We might have to do some research on that.
Check the tape.
Yeah, the Celtics are about to knock out the Knicks. The Magic, I don't even like their roster. Honestly, so if the what is it? Who is it? The Knicks. Who do we say? If the Pacers are a B plus roster team, I think the Magic are C plus, and you can't do too much in this league with C plus players. Sorry, just can't. All right, now we did have round 2 start today, and we actually will wrap up the show a little early today. So we're just gonna talk about game 1, the Cavaliers versus the Pacers. We actually do have the Pacers who took game 1. El Boogie, how do you think that this series finished out?
I actually love this matchup. I mean, we talked about the Pacers backcourt. I think the Cavs have a backcourt that can kind of compete with it when they have Jared Allen, who's pretty good on defense, and they have Evan Mobley, who won Defensive Player of the Year. Or no, yeah, he was maybe top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year. So they can play good defense to kind of try to slow down Miles Turner and Siakam. I noticed Darius Garland was hurt today and didn't play for the Cavs, so losing that piece also does not help your front court. But yeah, I don't know. I like the series. I think the fact that the Pacers stole game 1 is huge. The fact that they stole game 1 on the road is huge. Granted, I see this being a 6-game series. Give me the Cavs.
No,
I'm still with the Cavs. I'm still with the Cavs.
Wrong, y'all. All right, to finish out this show, to finish out today's episode of El Boogie and the Bell, granted, right now, I know that the Pacers are going to beat the Cavs in 6 games. I think the Pacers play the funnest basketball right now. They play the most exciting basketball right now. And this is a very, very exciting time. So I actually got the Pacers winning this series. Now, actually, I don't want to end it too early because we could just throw it out there. 1 sentence. We both get 1 sentence, right? So I got the Pacers beating them 6 games. You get 1 result. No explanation. All right, Knicks, Celtics.
Celtics.
Result.
Celtics in 5. Oh, you mean like 1 game?
Yeah, no, that you said it right. Celtics in 5. I really want to combat that, but okay. I got the Celtics in 6. Nuggets, Thunder. I should have did that last.
Thunder. I hate to say it. Thunder in 6.
Nuggets in 5.
What? What?
Too young.
They're not okay. I don't think they're. We can't say a team is too young like 3 years in a row. We just can't do it. Like we just can't. The Thunder have proven one. I think they're the Thunder have proven not only are they a capable basketball team, number 1, number 2, as far as like a well-balanced roster, we've talked about the Pacers, we've talked about the Celtics. The next one with the best overall roster, when you talk about bench talent and starting talent, Thunder. Like they have a pretty good and young roster, obviously. I think the fact that they're young, the fact that they're coming off of rest, and the fact that they are confident and they're experienced now. When you've been in the league 4 or 5 years, you are experienced. They're experienced enough to go beat a Nuggets team, in my opinion, that is, even though we just talked about them and Russell Westbrook, and they're too Jokic dependent. They don't have Mike Malone. giving them, a center core. I don't. What are you gonna? You're really gonna say Nuggets in 5 or 6? You're crazy.
That was a hell of a one sentence result, oh Boogie. But yes, I got the Nuggets in the 5, and I'll finish that one sentence with saying too young. Too young. Everybody learns their lesson. Anthony Edwards is out here giving people lessons. Nuggets in 5. Speaking of lessons, Wolves versus, as of right now, it's looking like the Warriors, but Wolves versus Warriors or Rockets. We're at halftime, 51-39. Warriors.
Wolves over Warriors in 6. Anthony Edwards' box office.
Box office, absolutely. Wolves in 7. Wolves in 7. Jimmy Butler, come on. Draymond Green with a couple knockout punches. Come on. Curry, we know what Curry. We don't even got to say his name. Wolves in 7.
Jimmy and Steph, they steal a game on the road.
Wolves in 7, baby. Wolves in 7.
One game on the road.
All right, man. I think that about wraps up another episode of El Boogie and the Bell. El Boogie, since you don't believe me, I'm going to have you take out the show to this. Take us out, El Boogie. Go ahead. Take us out, brother.
All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in to El Boogie and the Bell. Make sure you check out the full video on YouTube. Watch our clips on TikTok. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know we're right. Let us know we're wrong. We appreciate y'all once again, and we'll catch y'all here next time.
They're too young, El Boogie. They're too young. Peace.